Welcome in, everyone, to episode 172 of the Valkyrie Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng, and I'm joined by HurricaneKaz, V. Steve, and we decided to give Twastell, Tristen another chance. Yakai was not free for a follow-up episode, so we have to hit up Tristen as our backup. But how are you all doing today?
Doing well.
I do miss Yakai as our fourth co-host, but Tristen will do.
I don't blame you guys. He's much better at the game than I am, so you can't really get wrong there.
True. Yeah, he's quite good. I think he hit legend just recently too. I saw on X just earlier today. So early legend. That could be me if Galar Cup people played. Why do people always play Vanilla Great League? I don't understand. Don't people I was saying this at my local recently, and we'll talk more about this when we get to the GBL section. I was talking about this with my locals, and I'm like, why do people keep playing Vanilla Great League? And they're like, oh, you're bored of this meta already? I was like, it's not the meta, right? I get it's a freshman meta, and the Great League meta looks very different, but it's still just Great League. We have limited cups for just 1 week for who knows how long, right? We might not have Galar Cup again for 5 years. Who knows, right? And we're just going to stick with Great League. I don't know. I don't get it.
Isn't Galar Cup Great League minus a couple Pokemon?
No, the Galar Cup meta is much better. I will say that for sure. You get hard countered way less. You have a lot more neutral play. I think the current Great League meta is pretty decent. There's a lot of neutral play, but there's more neutral play in Galar Cup, in my opinion.
I just generally enjoy specialty cups a lot more than I enjoy open leagues, just because you do get to play around with some slightly different things that might not be as viable in an open format. So, and granted, there is a lot of crossover with the Galar Cup since it's the entire Galar Pokedex, but I still just generally like a more limited format than I do a total open one. I don't know. It gets really frustrating sometimes when even when you know your team, you just start seeing random stuff. And there's there's just no accounting for it, and it can be a little frustrating. So not to mention the same thing over and over and over again, because meta is meta. So I mean, generally if there's a special cup available, I'm pretty much always going to play that unless it's absolutely terrible.
I mean, I hear you, and I agree.
Lovers here.
Yeah, I'm on Team Great League. So usually I'm very I'm with the Team Cups. I'm yep, doing this all day, every day. Psychic Cup me up, whatever. But current season, I'm actually seeing the Open Great League weeks as I've got practice time. I can sort of, learn this meta, because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't solved this thing. I don't know how to, run good every single thingo. Every tournament we're seeing new stuff winning. So I'm kind of just hey, I'm not bored of this meta. I'm looking for practice. So, sorry, Galar Cup, but I ain't playing you if you're alongside.
Wait, I have a question. I have a follow-up question, though. Have you tried Galar Cup yet?
Nah, I haven't touched that puppy.
See, that's the problem. What if it's the best meta we've had in years? I'm not saying it is, but what if it's the best meta we had in years?
It is not.
You don't even try it. I actually think it's really, really good. You don't think the meta?
No,
what would you say is the best meta we've had in years? In this past year.
Not even close. Not Little Cup. I mean, I don't know. I actually I don't. High up there. I mean, it's pretty high up there, but I also think that some of the ones we have upcoming, I always look forward to the Halloween Cup every year. I think that's a genuinely fun one that comes around, but once a season.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally think that one is pretty strong.
I actually think this last version of Psychic Cup has to be up there.
Yeah, it was
surprisingly fun.
It was good. It got really repetitive, but it was really good. Galar Cup, in my opinion, is less repetitive because there's a little bit more variety than Psychic Cup.
Yeah, my point with Psychic Cup is it's just there's a lot of interplay, and it was pretty energy and shield management dependent, which is usually a sign of a good meta. But yeah, I mean, it is a narrower meta, but
out of the single type cups that we've had, I do think that Psychic Cup is generally the best. just because of the diversity the diversity of Pokemon that you see in there was actually surprising. And yeah, like you said, I feel like it was a high skill cup as opposed to.
It's funny because like a lot of
others.
people hate on the single type cups, but I actually enjoy most of them. Like I usually play like Electric Cup, Flying Cup, even, which like a lot of people hate on, but I don't think
Electric Cup was fun too. I remember that.
I feel like they're not as bad as they get the rap for.
Well, people, what they do is sometimes they like they say what it is, right? It's a decent meta, but it's a very limited meta, so you see the same like 5 to 6 Pokemon, right? Which is fair. But I think a lot of more people actually conflate the two and just say it's a bad meta because they see the same 5 to 6 Pokemon, even though it's actually a good meta because there's a lot like of interplay and playability into every matchup. But so I can see why some people get bored of the meta and don't think it's good. But you could be bored of a meta, but it could still be a good meta, right?
Some people
you know what? Let's just make this a GBL section because we already talked too much about GBL.
We're already getting in a little too deep.
Yeah. Steve, I got something to say to you. You gotta try it at least, right? I feel like the way you approach Go Battle League is the way you approach food, right? Because I remember the first time I had a meal with Steve back when I was in Atlanta, right? It was me, Steve, Adib Khan, Palmer's up, right? We met up in Atlanta. He was visiting Atlanta at the time. It was like right after COVID, I think. And we go out to this Mediterranean restaurant. Wait, did you go to Aviva by Camille, Kaz? It's like my favorite restaurant in Atlanta. It's Mediterranean place. Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, it's in downtown and Midtown, so it's the Midtown location is easier to get to, but so we go and amazing food, right? And they have like account for every dietary restriction, right? They have vegan, vegetarian, nut free, soy free, whatever, all the stuff, right?
But they don't have chicken nuggets, do they?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about Steve's diet before, right? So I was like, "Oh, Steve, like you got to get the rosemary half baked chicken. Like it's amazing, right? It's literally like a rotisserie, like half of a rotisserie chicken covered in like rosemary sauce. It's absolutely delicious, and it's actually like super affordable. So it's like $12, right? Plus like 3-4 sides or whatever. Anyway, so I tell him this, and he's like, "Yeah, they have like chicken tenders here." I was like, "What? We're at like a Mediterranean place. What are you talking about? We're not like at McDonald's. Like chicken tenders." I was like, "Dude, like you can't be eating chicken tenders here." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like this kind of stuff." I was like, "Dude, I don't know what you end up getting. I think you got like chicken shawarma or something, which was like just chicken tenders without like the breaded part on it." But
well, I'd never had it before, but I said this. I remember this quote. I was like, "If it's good enough for the Avengers, it's good enough for me." And so,
Avengers aren't real, man.
What do you mean? I've seen them in the movies.
But listen, some people are like that about food. They can't. It's just not something that a lot of people can get into. But some people get really into.
Oh no, but look, I don't even care if you don't like the half baked chicken. I just want you to try it, just like how you want you to try this Galar Cup. Maybe just try it.
Doesn't it end?
It ends soon.
It ends tomorrow.
You have like another. You have 25 hours. No, you have 25 hours. That's like 2 different days, right?
Let me tell you.
One set.
I climbed like 300 elo in one day in Galar Cup. It's actually kind of nuts. I can't find a single battle. I think I'm like maybe one of the highest elo Galar Cup players left. Like I'm at 28-31.
Are you a Galar Cup player if you're not playing?
I did climb in the beginning of Galar Cup. It has not gone super well since then.
What team were you running out of curiosity?
A lot of different ones.
Oh, a lot of different ones. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I had one that was working, which was like Oops All Tanky, because it was Diggersby, Toxapex, and Galarian Weezing. Mm-hmm. And then that stopped working, and I've just kind of been bouncing around a bunch of different teams since then.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My only gripe with Galar Cup, which is not that big of a deal, but just like the name is like a little misleading. It's not just Galar Pokemon. It's like things that you could have used in the Galar region, I guess, from the main series game. So I'll give you an example.
It's all the Pokemon from the Galar Pokedex in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, but who knows that though? That's like so confusing, right? It's Galar Cup, not Galar Pokedex Cup, right? And even if it was Galar Pokedex Cup, I have no idea. Like, because I mean, it makes a cup kind of fun because you just see stuff you don't expect, right? I'm just like, for example, I queued up into Rise Occasion the other day. I'm playing him, right? We got 2 shield apiece in the back. I think I had I had a Diggersby in the back with 2 shields, right? He has something in the back with 2 shields. No idea what it is. Comes in comes a Shadow Machamp. I was like, Shadow Machamp? What the heck? Yeah. Like, how is this in the gallery? It's a Kanto Pokemon, right? Like, it's like I don't even understand.
I saw a Lantern the other day, and I was like,
yeah, he had Lanterns in Galar Cup. I saw Galvantula and Lantern, I think, in Galar Cup, and I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? What is
I've seen people running Charjabug and Galvantula, and I'm like,
Charjabug's in it too?
Yeah.
What's not in Galar Cup? I don't even. I mean, and the thing is, like, it'd be one thing if everyone's running Machamp, right? But that was literally the one and only Machamp I've seen like all week, which is why like really threw me off. Because I'm just thinking like, what could Rise have in the back that could really beat a 2-shield Diggersby? Diggersby's pretty good, and of course he just has a Machamp. I was like, well, ain't nothing I can do here. But yeah, but that's my one gripe with it. But it is what it is. Wait, let's do a little elo check too, since this is now.
Do we have to?
I mean, you still got a month. It's fine. The bet's not over. Wait, no, yeah, we need to because we need to know who is veteran last, right?
Y'all got some true.
Someone's got a Phalanx to max out. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
Wait, did we say it has to be a Galar Pokemon or Galar Pokedex Pokemon?
We said Galar Pokemon. Galar Pokedex Pokemon is apparently just anything.
It don't matter to me, you know. I can make people power like we just gotta make the rules sure what the rules are. I'm not power.
I'm gonna go to Cerebi right now, and I'm gonna look up the Galar Pokedex, and we'll see what's not in it.
We'll see what's not in it. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you? Because you're scared of like what I make you power up.
No. I'm just curious because none of us seem to know.
There's 1,000 Pokemon, so how are we gonna figure out which like 600 are not in it?
No, if you usually on the page for the game itself, they have a menu that'll show you like missing Pokemon.
Even though it's like hundreds long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which game was it that was the first one that was like there was that whole National Dex controversy? Like, you know, this is the first game that you can't have all the Pokemans.
I believe that was Sword and the Shield.
Right, I see.
Because people were super upset that there was not going to be like a, I forget is it like a national Dex? You know,
so that some of your stuff just has to hang out in Pokemon Home and can't come to Sword and Shield. But what was your elo again, Caleb? 28 something?
2831, I think.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Wait, why? What's yours?
Nah, I'm at like 21. I don't know, 2170, something like that. So
okay. Well, I mean,
me and Steve might get queued up.
You don't want to lose the veteran bet. Is all I'm saying either, though. You know, we might be good, but I don't know about your Stardust.
I'm at 2189. Ugh.
Oh,
2189.
Interesting.
Okay,
yeah, Gala Cup later.
And I have not been able to get it.
Run the team I've been running. It's Mandibuzz. It's super easy ABB, but it's actually really strong. Mandibuzz, Diggersby, Gastrodon, safe swap to Diggersby. You run Air Slash on the Mandibuzz because it actually has a lot of play into the fairies. Like I've beaten surprisingly a decent amount of fairies with Air Slash Mandibuzz, especially Galarian Weezing because it's like number 1 P poke. Shadow Galarian Weezing, but that thing has to throw Play Rough. So if you shield a Play Rough, the Air Slash area start taking it out, right? But I don't even stay in that matchup.
Run the Diggersby.
Fire Punch, Scorching Sand, because you can't run Hyper Beam. If you run Hyper Beam, there's a lot of Drift Blim in this meta.
Yeah,
my team's already weak to Drift Blim. You can't do it. Yeah, but if with Fire Punch, if you optimize your timing right, and they're trying to optimize as well, you could grab a shield off of them, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, because I've been like sick and then got super busy with work and wasn't still fully better from being sick. So I only played 2 Galar Cup battles, but I used a team from the Dracoviz graphic, which said to safe swap Scorching Sand, Hyper Beam, Diggersby, and I did that one game. And I came in Drift for them like, Dracoviz, what are you doing?
Who created that team?
I don't know. I think it came from Yonkis potentially, but
Oh yeah.
Jonkins, I mean.
Caleb was out here hoping for the polymers up, slander hour. But
I mean, they gotta do some assurance check on that one. It's fine though; it's too late for now. But well, and then the third Pokemon is Gastrodon, but instead of Earth Power,
It's Water
Water
you
Pulse.
want Water Pulse. You have more play into Drifblim, but also you have a lot more play into Diggersby.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the Diggersby matchup with Gastrodon is not good, not that good.
Yeah.
Water Pulse actually helps a
I'll
lot.
give
It's
it a
better than
try
Moltres.
because I haven't done any
it's
sets.
pretty
Yeah, I was gonna
today,
say that
think.
team style is kind of weak to Drifblim though.
No, I'd be in a ton of Drifblim. No, you know what the team is weak to? Ice Leads, particularly Alolan Ninetales. And you know what? I've lost to one Alolan Ninetales out of like 10, like in the lead. It's crazy. It's this team is disgusting. I mean, also I've been playing like incredibly well because I haven't played a lot of battles and I've like won like maybe 90+% of my games in Galar Cup. It's kind of nuts. But
So I found the list of unavailable or unobtainable Pokemon, and a lot of the Kanto Pokedex is actually not obtainable in Sword and Shield, like the Weedle family, the Pidgey family,
No!
Spearow family, Ekans family, Paris family, Venonat family.
these are not
Mankey?
eligible.
These are not available. Yeah.
Oh,
so I
you
have
just
to
need to
imagine...
give us a list of what is eligible, I guess, right?
No, well,
longer.
you were saying like what's not allowed. Well,
there's actually that much in the Galar Dex.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There are 400 Pokemon in the Galar Pokedex.
Yeah.
Oh, something I found interesting about Galar Cup is I think the Galarian Birds are banned.
Yeah, because they're from the DLC, so the
Yeah.
DLC doesn't count.
What? Like, who cares? Like, why is that why is that distinction they need to make? Is that really why, or they just did because of like limited availability?
Pretty sure that is legitimately
that's definitely why.
Why does that matter though? Like which Pokemon Go player is going to be complaining and be like, "How dare you let a Galarian Articuno into this meta? It's in the DLC." Like, who's going to say that? That's such a weird. I thought it was like because of limited accessibility, but I mean, I'm not saying I know exactly why Niantic did that, but that's such a like a weird distinction. I could care less, right? Because I don't really even have Galarian Moltres, and that's the only thing that's relevant. But like, it's just so odd to me. Like, isn't that strange?
This is my memory, so I'm pretty sure that they made Galar Cup before the DLC came out, because it was like when the games were first coming out, they made the Galar Cup or whatever, and then like the DLC came out, the Galar Birds exist, and they just never updated the Galar Cup. So like,
wait, what do you mean? I don't know whether this is the second time we have Galar Cup.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we've had Galar Cup.
Wait, really?
Is it? Really? Wait.
I remember having like I remember like Sinnoh Cup and Hisui Cup, but I don't remember a Galar.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I think
yeah. We've had pretty much all the other.
Steve, have you made a Galar Cup video before?
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, I made
the guy
my first
that's
one
never played Galar Cup is telling us when we've had Galar Cup before.
Oh, there you
it was
go.
just so bad the last time he couldn't touch it.
Yeah, I had a bad experience last time, man. The Avengers never played Galar Cup. Why would I play Galar Cup?
I mean, I remember having to like.
It's not good enough for the Avengers.
I remember like having to try so hard to convince Steve to try chicken katsu in Japan, which is basically just fancy chicken nugget.
It's basically fried chicken on rice.
That's literally just chicken tenders, essentially.
Yeah, it's chicken tenders, but nicer.
Did you not like it?
It was fine.
What did you eat in Japan? Now that I'm thinking about it, because it's not like there's a lot of chicken nuggets or chicken tenders.
Well, there was a lot of chicken karage actually. Also, they were selling.
Good.
Yeah, and they were selling chicken out of Family Chicken, which was sick. But to be honest, I ate a lot out of 7-Eleven. It was the absolute godsend of a location in Japan.
7-Eleven Japan is
really
pretty
good.
like goated, so I don't blame you.
Yeah,
but
man, the thing
every
that killed
chain
me,
in Japan
the thing
is
that
better.
killed
just
me
for
though
reference.
is like Arrow would just go to like McDonald's and stuff to buy chicken. It's like, dude, just go to Family Mart or 7-Eleven and buy the chicken from there. It's like tastier, fresher, cheaper. Like, come on, dude.
Wild.
I think Arrow is worse than
Arrow
Steve
and Steve are like world travelers too at this point with all these Pokemon tournaments, and their diet still hasn't changed, which is crazy to me. Actually wild.
Dude, Arrow brought like multiple, like so many Dr. Peppers to Hawaii. He brought it in his suitcase.
Yeah, he did that for
Really?
Japan too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Dr Pepper in Japan tastes different or something,
Whoa.
and I don't know about Hawaii. I think it's also cheaper to just do that. But
I think it's just cheaper. But then one of them exploded in his bag, and he had to do a load of laundry as soon as he got to the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Was it really worth it?
Pressure. With the pressure in the plane, too. I'm actually surprised they didn't all explode. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of nuts. Pretty standard, pretty expected though too. But anyway, okay. Oh, wait. So what's your elo at, Tristen? Yeah. Do you have elo yet?
Yeah, it was funny. Kaz was giving me a hard time about getting ELO, and then I got it like a day later.
Yeah, that's true. He messaged me.
2387.
Okay.
So not a veteran yet either.
Doing okay.
You just wait till I make this big Gala Cup push. It turns out that I'm going to love this meta. It's going to be the greatest thing of all time. I'm just going to go 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0.
Yeah, and you're going to regret you didn't start playing it like a week ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying. All right. Well, good little GBL update. Let's go into the events for the week. We have some party share stuff, which I think they teased already, or we talked about in the past, but it's like officially out, I guess.
Yeah, I think they said it was coming a while ago. Yeah. We talked about this like a couple months ago.
It's already been a thing for a while. Zoe and Alan did it.
Yeah. Well, you guys get stuff a little earlier sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's been a thing for a while in Australia. It may not be a thing for the rest of us, but
true.
But I mean, I do think it's been available for longer than like this update, says, because this blog entry is released on September 24th, but I like the week before did a party share with a friend. So like it's been available for a while, but they didn't really make a big show of it until this announcement, which is kind of strange because I think this feature is amazing. It like makes me want to do parties more when I'm out because I want to share your star piece. Thank you very much.
Dude, I love in this party share like website thing. The avatars of all the players are like as close as they could get to their actual hairstyle. That's kind of funny. But actually, something I was wondering is in these promos, it's kind of unrelated to party share. Why don't they just get their partner creators to be in it? Like why not throw in like trainer tips or Zoe 2 Dots? Like whenever they're at events, just do like photo shoots of them with the promos. So it's like, because this doesn't look. None of these people look like they actually play Pokemon Go. Honestly, I can't even tell from this photo if this was even a Pokemon Go thing or it was just like
their phones aren't plugged in. They don't have their extra battery.
Well, no, not even that. It's just like the photo looks almost like AI. No, there's like these. I mean, I think they're real people, but like there's something weird about like that girl in the middle, right on the left side, left. She looks like she's like not like she was like weirdly layered behind them.
Well, she looks particularly weird because she's wearing two different types of jackets.
Wait, can we like zoom in to see this actually AI photo? Like, let's count their fingers. Okay.
I don't think it's AI.
Count their fingers.
I feel like these guys weren't. These are like 4 different photos. They really do look right.
I do feel like they've cropped these. Like these are different photos from.
There's no way that's her hand on his shoulder.
No shot. Yeah,
and
look at people on the right. Like he's just like the way that his shoulder is sort of overlaid over her shoulder. Like where is his arm?
Yeah.
Well, and again,
that's a good point.
I point you to
they look like they're fused together.
The woman on the left, like she's wearing 2 different types of jackets, and like one is like kind of coming off on one side, so it looks like she's wearing a different jacket on each side.
Yeah. Yeah. The woman on the right. Yeah.
It's so odd. And they do this a lot for these kind of announcements. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying about like maybe including their partners in it, but I also get why logistically that might be a little difficult to arrange, even if they could reuse the same material over and over again. So I mean, I still think they need to use real people though that are together.
Yeah, I agree. That hand on that guy's shoulder just looks so out of place. Like I don't think
that's her arm. Yeah.
Like the angle she's facing at, it seems like it's not her arm, and also I feel like her arm wouldn't reach up that high because she's not as tall. Like it just
and she's holding a phone.
Even if it did. Then she would have her shoulder would be higher, like on her left. Like see how I'm raising my arm, like and how my shoulder comes up. Like her shoulder is down here, and yet her hand is like
You know what this reminds me of? It's like the Mr. Beast thumbnails, where like
Yeah,
they
the
look
way
they look
overexposed.
yeah, the
Yeah.
overexposed. They look a little. I know Pokédex has been doing some of that too, experimenting. I mean,
Mm.
like when I first saw those, I was like always like a little thrown off, right? But it was when Anacor was on this podcast. He's like, he does that intentionally, right? I was like, oh, he's got it. Like this guy's like a millionaire. He might be a billionaire. He could obviously hire a good thumbnail artist. Why would they purposely do these weird looking like things? But I think that might be like, I don't know if that's what Niantic's going for here, but that's like
Yeah.
a very intentional thing to get people's attention. Click on the video and stuff, but. I mean, this is already on their website. Like, it's not like more people visiting the website is going to generate them.
I just think
they don't have ads on
it's
this website.
very heavily. I don't think it's actually AI. I think it's like very heavily edited, like
in Photoshop,
clipped. Yeah, like clipped out different photos of different people and kind of squished them together, which you can do in Photoshop really easily and make it look good. Because like I do that all the time. And I know it can be done, and it can be done way better than this. So I don't know why they insist on like making it feel so obviously like fake.
I will say with the partner thing, which I think is a good idea, but like, you know how during like Go Fest and like Sinotor and all those, they have in game those like pictures they show. I saw some people complaining that like the pictures were all of like the partnered creators and not of actual like regular players of the game, which like I don't know if it matters that much.
But again,
I
don't think these people play the game.
Yeah, I feel like people are going to complain about everything, but like I think that's totally fine if you're just partner creators. Like they're partner creators. Like it's not like what do you want to see? Some random person that you don't recognize that might not even be playing the game. I mean, obviously they probably are for like community stuff, but like why would people complain about that? It's just like I don't know.
I feel like
it's also easier legally to like work with people that you've made.
They have like release forms they've done already.
I feel like they could also get pictures from like community ambassadors or something if they're trying to like mix up the pool of picture people.
Yeah, you know, they actually
were there actually a lot of people complaining about this, or was it like just like 2 people?
I don't remember. It was a while ago.
I've never
it was
seen,
probably
like,
only a few people, but I just remember seeing, I think on Twitter, people just like bitching about it, and I was like,
people find anything to complain about, to be honest, in my opinion. True. So I think it's fine.
I'm not complaining about Steve Diggersby. It's not a whale.
I made it out for raid hour last week for like the first time in forever, and because it was like the Zacian raid hour and it's a new shiny, it was probably one of the busiest raid hours like we've ever had. There were definitely more than 20 people walking around. We had several lobbies at every gym. And like, yeah, the ambassador that was there was like, oh, I should get a photo. Like, this is actually when I should be taking a photo. And I was like, oh, they want those?
They do. Yeah.
I think it's like a requirement or something. It's kind of annoying. You have to like take and submit photos to like prove that people are actually showing up.
Prove that people are playing this game.
The process. Please. Anyway. Party share. If you're in a party, you use certain items. I think it's just incense, lucky egg, and star piece. You share amongst each other.
Star piece.
I think,
but
we
so it's divided though. So this is an important thing.
Yes.
Sharing item divides the duration of items. For example, an incense with a 60-minute duration would be divided into 30 minutes for each player, regardless of how many players are in the party. So with 2 people, it makes no sense to do party play. I think, right? Because you're already dividing it in half. But if you have 3 or more, then it's worth it.
I mean, with 2, it just depends. Like, if one person has like 100 incense and the other person doesn't, then it still makes sense, right?
Yeah, I have no star pieces, and a lot of the people that I play with have like a bunch of extra ones because they don't use them as much as I do.
Kaz just mooching off of everyone else.
Yes, I am, and I am not ashamed.
Proud of it.
Shout out to
Give me your star pieces, please.
Do they know that the duration's halved when they use
they do. They're aware. They don't care.
Good. All right.
I was complaining about the TMs the other day, and they were all like, "That's a problem for some people," and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. There's a limit too, so you can share items up to 4 times per day for each type of item. There's no limit on how many times the trainer can benefit from the item shared with them. That's Kaz. So she's like, "Oh, you spent your 4-star pieces? I'm gonna party up with someone else now. I'm dipping out."
Nice seeing you.
We're gonna join this guy's party. Thank you.
Have you guys used your star pieces yet? Oh, you have? Okay, let me find a new party then. It's not gonna work out for me.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys get me.
There's all the few stipulations. Well, daily Adventure Incense, Coin Bag, Mystery Box, all that stuff, that can't be combined to be shared and all that stuff. And then also, if the item's duration extended by a bonus event, such as like Incense or Community Day, the bonus does apply to party share. But it's really just Incense on Community Days these days. Nothing else is extended, right? To my knowledge.
Yeah, we've never had extended Star Piece or Lucky Egg.
No, not on a Community Day.
We never did in the past. I thought we did back then.
No,
I don't think so.
Because they have bonuses that increase your Stardust or XP anyway. So
okay.
They don't typically extend those items outside of the Incense.
All right, let's dive into the Rocket event too, because we got a lot to cover today, and we pretty much covered all the potential AI photoshopping of party share. So we have a Rocket event. Team Go Rocket and Giovanni return.
Which is already live for some of us.
Oh, it is. Yeah. We're recording this on a Monday, but it's starting on Tuesday. Yes, it's definitely live for Steve.
Yeah.
And the Aussies and some people in further on the east side. But yeah, from Tuesday to Friday, so a strong less than 3-day event for whatever reason. Ends at 8 p.m. at local time too.
Why are the Rocket events so short?
Sometimes they're long, but this one's particularly short.
Yeah,
it doesn't even touch a weekend. Like it's done before the weekend starts.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's
anyway,
wild.
Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently at Pokestops and balloons. You use chart TMs, blah blah blah, like per usual. Nothing too crazy if you've played these before. You get Shadow Heatran, which is new as a Shadow Legendary.
Clasher in shambles.
What's the story about that? He just lost a Heatran.
He lost a Heatran.
Yeah.
Was it on stream?
I don't think it was even on stream. I think.
But did he actually like face he battled one too, right?
Yeah, I think his team was like really weak to it or something. And so I think everyone's just memeing on him for losing to a Heatran.
Yeah. What who was it that he lost to?
I have no idea.
Anyway, new Shadow Pokemon.
I don't think it was anyone on you.
Yeah. New Shadow Pokemon, so Shadow Caterpie, Shadow Mankey, Roggenrola, Manaphy, Carablast, and Shelmet. And honestly, out of all these, it's probably just Mankey you want. Because Shadow Primeape could be interesting. Annihilate. There's also some teases of like Annihilate Community Day, I think, coming up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what the next one's gonna be. We don't have the details, but they put out a teaser this morning with a little video that shows the Mankey. And I know like the data miners also found like Rage Fist in the code, so
they nerfed the damage or the energy gain on counter. It was the energy gain. Right?
Energy.
Yeah. More damage though from counter from a Shadow. Annihilate per Primeape is definitely respectable. And then everything else is pretty
Karate
standard,
Chop,
honestly.
so that's
Primeape does have Karate Chop, but Annihilate can't learn it. Annihilate could learn Shadow Claw, I think, though.
Yeah,
in the main series game, so that could be interesting if that's the
It could, and hopefully they might introduce that
or maybe they give it Rage Fizz. It's exclusive move.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the move.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be a move. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, pretty kind of an underwhelming Shadow event in my opinion.
There's one other new Shadow, I believe. I don't think. Have we ever had Shadow Galarian Zigzagoon before?
That's not on the Shadow list.
Yeah, because it was one of the Rocket ones.
Yeah, it's one of the leaders. Yeah, so they didn't announce it.
Oh no, we haven't had that.
Yeah, so that's
we've never seen a Shadow Obstagoon before, right?
Right. So that's also new.
That's a really cool one because one, it's new, and two, it could be shiny if it's in the leaders.
Yeah, exactly.
What else is in the leaders?
Beldum
and Ralts.
And Beldum.
Yeah, Ralts and Beldum, which we've had both of those before, right?
Isn't Metagross like the 10th best raid attacker these days?
We have had both of those before. I'm not sure if they've been available like as shiny.
I think Beldum has, but maybe Ralts hasn't.
I do think that sounds right. Like I feel like I've seen Shadow Shiny Metagross before.
Yeah,
but
I think
Ralts is a new Shadow Shiny option.
But yeah, I feel like
if you go in for that sort of thing.
I feel like my biggest gripe though is they're giving us Carablast, which evolves into a Scavalier. They're giving us Galarian Zigzagoon, which evolves to Obstagoon, and they're giving us Mankey, which evolves to Annihilate, all right after they nerfed Counter.
Yeah.
Like, if Counter hadn't been nerfed, these would be very exciting shadows. Like I think Escavalier is pretty unique and interesting too. Like
Escavalier is fun.
I still stand
was
by
fun.
that a lot of the moves they nerfed didn't have to be nerfed. I
Same.
do like a lot of the buff moves, but a lot of the nerf moves is just not ideal in my opinion.
I'm just hoping that they'll rebuff them again eventually, sort of what they did with like Bubble, Azumarill, and even like I think they nerfed like Focus
Spark
Blast or
Lantern
something.
they did as well too.
Yeah.
So like hopefully they'll bring some of these things back because I don't think they were all necessary to nerf, and like I do think the meta we have right now is pretty good, but long term, I think it would be good to have some of these things brought
I don't know. I feel like it's good, but I feel like also when I face people, especially in Show 6 and locals, there's always something that I can't account for. Like, I feel like there's always something that core breaks me no matter what I team build with. Like, I could always, like, if I look at any team, I could always point out at least one or two core breakers that core breaks them. Like, there's just, like, no way to have perfect coverage, I think.
Wow.
What do you want, my cat?
She's like, I disagree.
I mean, I feel like that's always. I feel like that's always the case for Open Great League, though. Like you can't.
Yeah,
cover
you can't
everything.
build like a perfect team.
I get you, but
Caleb's like, maybe you guys can't.
No, it wasn't that. I was just. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many locals you all played in, but every time I play in a local, there's always something that just completely core breaks me, or I have to play like some stupid ABA team to have a chance at winning, right? Like something very ridiculous. But
I mean, I feel like that's just Open Great League for a while though for Show 6 to an extent. I mean, maybe it's a little more now, but like, I definitely have noticed like in the past, like there's been times where like in some of the past metas where certain team comps I've had to play some ABA lines at times because certain Pokemon were just a pain. There's just so many viable Pokemon in general that I feel like you can't perfectly account for everything.
All right, I got this yelling cat with me now. She's throwing a fit for whatever reason. But okay. Well, anyway, that's Rocket Takeover, and so be sure to save your charge TMs and start TMing stuff. But we have a new Mega on the horizon. It is Mega Mawile.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, break it down for us, Kaz, then.
She's so cool. Double mouth.
She's not a bird, though.
I don't, I'm not, I can like things that aren't birds. Birds are just my favorite. So we do get Mega Mawile and introduced as a raid day, Saturday, October 12th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. Mega Mawile debuts. You can encounter a shiny one. Bonuses, remote raid limit, as per usual, will increase to 20 from Friday, October 11th to Saturday, October 12th. 5 p.m. PDT, October 11th, sorry. And 8 p.m. PDT, October 12th. So just for like a day, you get extra remote raid availability. Receive up to 5 additional free passes from spinning Gym Photo Disc, an increased chance of encountering shiny Mawile from Mega Raids. And of course, there is a ticket box for $4.99 USD or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency, which will give you extra raid passes and all sorts of bonuses for this event. And there is a separate event ticket for $5 US currency or equivalent pricing, which does, again, give you the extra raid passes. 50% more XP from raid battles, 2 times Stardust, nom, 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 nom. An increased chance to get a rare XL candy from raid battles, which I believe we also had on Mega Lucario Day, and people really ate that opportunity up. So
yeah, they've been doing that more, and the increased Stardust is kind of standard too, but like it's nice, but it doesn't add up that much because you're only getting like 1,000 dust from the raids, so double is like 2,000, which like I mean more Stardust is better than less, but like I don't think it's worth buying the ticket just for the Stardust.
Yeah. No, well, you do the ticket if you like really want that hundo or really want that shundo.
Are you doing the ticket, Kaz?
I don't know, because I'll be at Louisville at the time.
That's right. That's right. You'll be busy winning. That's what I was going to say.
I mean,
I was like, don't buy the ticket. You don't got time to raid.
I dare to dream. Yeah, no. So the good side is that I think I'll be with a lot of other people to raid with. The bad news is
problems taking it down. Yeah.
I think just yeah. But the bad news is that I don't think I'll be as able to like utilize those ticket bonuses as I would if it were another weekend.
Yeah, and there's usually a decent chunk of gyms at the venues when they have.
Oh, there usually are. Yes.
Yeah, that's not usually problem,
but enough to like use a ticket's worth of like extra raid passes. I don't know.
How many extra passes does the ticket have?
8.
But you already get a bunch, right? You already get what?
5.
Right?
You get 5 without a ticket, so.
Yeah, so 5 additional raid passes.
Plus 8 is 13, so there needs to be
plus the one from before, you have at least 6, right? So 14.
So there would just need to be like 5 gyms at the venue, right?
No, wait. Are they going to be spawning nonstop?
Like if they go every hour.
But that's how it works.
I think it's every I think it's every 30 minutes they respawn.
For Lucario, it was every hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is an hour.
If it's every hour, then you just need 5 gyms at the venue for it to be worth it. If it's every half hour, then you only need
I don't think there's ever like 5 gyms though.
I think
there's usually like 4 at like
I feel like I don't know because I was at Portland for like Cleavor raid day, and I think there was probably about 5 or 6 gyms if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I think it kind of varies by event, but I don't recall that many gyms and
I remember when I went to Orlando
Worlds maybe, but that's
a couple of years ago, there was quite a lot because the venue was like larger. But other regionals I've gone to have been at slightly smaller convention centers, so they don't have as much availability for.
Well, the main thing is like points of interest too, right? Like that's why like for like internationals and worlds, it's much easier because they have so many different things that get marked as a point of interest. Whereas at a regional, it's just like, it's just.
Well, they have those like generic like Louisville regional gyms and stops they add. Right?
Let's do a low wager. How many we think it is, right? But this is not whoever gets the closest. You have to get exactly the amount, right? So let's just say this: it has to be gyms within range that you could raid at, right? I don't care if there's like a 6th gym on the corner entrance of the convention center that you can't ever possibly reach, right? It has to be within vicinity that you can actually physically raid into. So I'm gonna say 4.
I would guess 4 too.
You know what? I'll just say 3 then. I would say 3 to be different.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I
feel like I'm at a slight disadvantage in that the Australian regionals, the only ones I've been to, are very different. In like, I remember Brisbane regionals where we had like, it was Mega Swampert, Mega Sceptile, whatever raid day.
Yeah.
How long ago that was. And like, you could kind of get 2, and then if you sort of went into the far corner of the room and sort of like looked into the corner, you could reach a 3rd, and it was
that's better than what we had at Toronto that same event, the Mega Sceptile, Swampert, and Blaziken. You know how many I did that day? 0. We couldn't reach a single gym. We couldn't reach a single gym, and like I was saying it to Speedy, and Speedy was like remote raiding Des. I was like, dude, I get you, but I ain't going to spend remote raid passes when I should be able to just do this event here. But all the gyms were like not in the actual conventions. They were like on the other side of the convention center. Like whoever gave Niantic the points of interest were like, they got the wrong room, right? Because it wasn't like you couldn't even reach it. You had to walk like 5 minutes to the entrance of the convention center to get it. That's kind of nuts. But anyway, unfortunate. But it is what it is. But so that would have been a 0 for that event. But I think they've been better ever since. That was like the one anomaly I think that I remember.
I'm going to take 5 because if you guys have 3 and 4, then 5 seems pretty safe.
Okay, then you guys are undercounting. It's going to be 6. It's going to be the greatest event of all time.
Let me just.
You didn't want to go for the 2?
Nah. They're gonna do an incredible job, and I mean,
Steve's like, go big or go home.
He didn't want to be an Australian regional.
Steve, you were right. You are at a disadvantage because you really don't know how many gyms there will be. That's okay. Hey, maybe Steve proves wrong, but we'll see. Let's see. All right, let's get into this global wild area thing because we're in the wild times now.
It's
All right,
Caleb's favorite event.
Dude, I don't know. I've seen people chit chatting on X about it, and like seems like there's some negative stuff people are talking about, but I didn't really follow along on what it was. I guess one thing was also so they bring back Origin, Dialga, and Palkia for this event. They could be shiny, of course, but it's only a chance that they have Roar of Time and Spatial Rend, which like I don't even. The chance thing is like kind of annoying, but the more annoying part is you can't even Elite TM it. Like if you get 100% Dialga and it's got Thunder, you can't even Elite TM it, right? Like I personally would just rather they all have the exclusive move. But if they don't, at least give people the option to spend the Elite TM. It feels so pointless to have one you can't even Elite TM.
Or at least like make the chance like super high, like
What's the point
make
even limiting it? It's just like I feel like it's just there to like piss people off. Like you'll get people to spend maybe more money on it, but like I don't know. It feels a little grimy.
No.
Aquatail. Yeah. So Steve showing to the camera, he has 100% Palkia Origin. It's got that exclusive move Aquatail. That was nice. I was gonna say I thought you were about to flex on me with the Spatial Rend because I was like, I got one too, but it's got the LA background.
Nah, anti-flex.
And the Palkia without the move is worse because like it really needs that.
Yeah.
That's spatial. The Dialga like
you could throw on like a Hydro Pump variant, right? It's not like crazy. It's a little cheeky, but like I think you could like flip some matchups running Hydro Pump Aquatail. Like there are times I'm playing Master League, I'm literally like sitting there thinking like this could be a Hydro Pump. I really don't want to shield my Zacian, but it could be a Hydro Pump. I haven't personally been hit by one yet, but I've seen like clips of people getting hit by it.
He's scared of ghosts. This thing's never happened.
No. It's not a ghost because a ghost like doesn't actually exist, right? I'm scared of like it's like if ghosts actually were potentially real, right? Or are actually real. It's just they're odd at small currents, Yeah, you better change that background to a Drifblim at this rate.
No, the Digger's being a normal type. It's protecting.
You better stop talking about ghosts like they're not real. You're gonna piss them off.
Yeah, I mean, Kaz got that blue screen flashing back and forth. That's the ghost, Yeah.
Haunted.
Yeah,
it's
paranormal activity.
It's sending a message.
7. Come to this Halloween. Okay, so anyway, this is Wild Area Global, and it is on November 23rd to the 24th. 10 a.m. to 6:15 p.m. each day.
That's such a weird end time. Why is it 6:15 and not 6 or 6:30 or 7?
15 minutes extra. You could drop. You know what it is? You drop your regular. You drop your regular incense for every hour, and once you hit 6 o'clock, you're like, man, I don't got time for another full incense, but I could drop that adventure incense for 15 minutes, and there you go.
Isn't that like surely the obvious answer is that something's going to happen, like the Meltan sort of spawning at the end of the Chikorita Community Day or something like that. Like something's going to happen in that last 15 minutes.
There's going to be something weird.
Yeah, but why don't they just do that in the last 15 minutes from like 5:45 to 6?
Because I mean, this is also like a whole new like brand of event that they're starting. This like wild area idea. And I mean, I get that there's a bunch of new features that they're introducing as well, but like, the weird end time, the new branding, it just like, it just screams of something.
There's a ghost on Steve's screen. For those that are audio listeners,
you know what that 15 minutes is for? It's for sharing one more star piece with Kaz because it's
in half. Truly. Truly, my friends will help me.
Yeah.
Be the best there ever was.
So there's a few things coming. There's Mighty Pokemon, which is a new feature.
Which I don't understand. Are they bigger, stronger? Okay.
So I think that they're in raids because it says that trainers may find themselves in encounters with unusually powerful opponents known as Mighty Pokemon. It says, they're more likely to have high attack, defense, and HP IVs. They call them ratings. I don't know what that's about. More likely to be XL or XXL, more difficult to capture. So it sounds like it's a raid shenanigan, just, up the difficulty, I suppose, which, little
So
whatever,
are the raids, you think the raids themselves are going to be more difficult than
Yeah, that's my read. Just because they're using the word opponents. Like, I don't know what else that could mean.
I don't think that they're only in raids, though, because I'm looking at this graphic from Galax, and he has a wait. Oh no, that's a different icon.
Oh.
There's too many icons here.
Yeah, look, there's a lot going on, but as far as I can tell, it feels like that's just a raid thingo, which more chance at a hundo because the IV is going to be higher, so happy days. Except also more difficult to capture, so don't know what that's about. But also, greatest feature of all, they're adding the Safari Ball for some of the Pokemon that will also expire at the end of the day if you don't use them. So, cool.
It's a new ball that will make the mighty Pokemon themselves easier to catch. And
so why make them harder to catch?
I don't know. They're Spider-Man memeing themselves, They're like,
Okay. Here's what it was. I remember I looked at this a while ago. So on Galaxy's graphic, he has a section for mighty Pokemon, and there's 8 of them listed for Saturday and a different 8 listed for Sunday. But then under raids, for 3-star raids, 2 of those mighty Pokemon are listed for Saturday and 2 of them are listed for Sunday. So I think only some of those mighty Pokemon are in raids, but all of them I think are in the wild potentially. And I think that's probably where you use the Safari Ball, because I'm assuming for regular raids you just use Premier Balls probably.
Yeah. You'd want to use the Safari when you're in the wild and it's not like, it could flee at any moment. The other interesting thing about that graphic is it has this little TM icon next to some of them, namely the ones that have had community days before, that says featured attacks when evolve or catch certain Pokemon. So I guess these ones that have had previous community days will have their community day moves, except for Pidgeot.
No, there's a few others. Pidgeot, Mammothwine, Dragonite, Electivire, and Electros don't have those icons.
Yeah, that's weird. But the big thing here is that for Alligator, you're going to be able to get Hydro Cannon, which is pretty huge for current season for those people that are sort of out there without one. Especially, I know there's a few people that are still sitting on... Actually, this is the big thing. So people that don't have a Shadow for Alligator, in this Rocket event that's coming up, take frustration off your little Shadow Totodile, evolve it up to Feraligatr during the Go Wild event, and all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, Shadow Gator, ready to go. Although, to be honest, there's a week until the December meta update after this Go Wild event, and it's entirely possible that they nerf Gator at that point. But
oh my god,
you never know.
dude.
I would say
that was the thing I talked about, where it's the decent bounce Pokemon, and then because they nerfed all these checks to it, they're gonna nerf it next. A nerf that wasn't needed, right? Hydro Cannon and Shadow Claw were fine moves.
It seems like it's coming, and I just it's sort of frustrating.
Bring back
but also if you want to wait, but also you might not want to wait till late November to get your Shadow for Alligator. So if you want it before then, you might have to use the Elite TM.
Yeah.
But on that note, make sure you TM those Shadow Mankey that you get, so you can evolve them during the Mankey community day that we know has been teased to be coming next month.
The other unique thing about this event is we do get a new Pokemon debut from the Galar region, Toxel, little baby form, and Toxtricity, which will be debuting with their shiny available in this event and be featured in Dynamax battles. The evolved form Toxtricity will.
Huge. Let's go. That's awesome.
The Dynacats are back, baby.
I've not been doing these Dynamax raids, so
The Phalanx is so hard. Like we tried to do one while we were out on the raid hour walk, and like the groups of 4 even make it so difficult. Well, even if people do have the counters.
Depending when you did it, apparently there is a period of time where Niantic like accidentally made Dynamax and even maybe regular raid battles more difficult for like a day or two. So it was like, because I saw some people that said they were like initially able to like barely solo Phalanx with like a level 40 Charizard or something, and then Niantic like accidentally made it harder, and then people like couldn't solo it, and then now they're able to again. So I've heard it's very hard in general, but it's also possible that when you tried it was during the period where it was like extra hard, and that might have been why you had. Yeah, it's like, how does this happen? I don't understand. Like,
but also like, why? Why would you introduce this new feature and make it so frustrating and difficult to do? Like, give me a break, please. Like, I want to play the game.
When they released the feature, it was the easiest thing in the entire universe, and everyone was like, "Oh, why would I ever play this with anyone else? I can jump in."
It's a fine line, Steve. It's a fine line, and they jumped it too far.
I mean, I will agree that the jump from like the 1-star Dynamax to the 3-star Dynamax is like a massive gulf.
It's a huge leap. It's like I feel like I'm gotta freaking jump right over Mount Kilimanjaro or something.
Doesn't this kind of make sense though? Because you want the ability for people to engage in the Dynamax feature, build up their Dynamax library, grind out Pokemon so they can try and get the Hundo Dynamax so they can power it up. That, like, you know, they've got their good Charizard. And then once they've sort of, you know, completed that tier of Dynamax, then they sort of go into the tier 3 raids. Like, I feel like we're coming into it as a very... you know, people that have sort of already played the game for years and years and years.
Well, I mean, the problem is it's still the the max battle spots are like, they're kind of random and they refresh like every other day or so. So it's not like you can sit there, like, unless your whole day is planned out to maximize your max battle potential, which you can't even do them all day because you have a limited amount of points that you can store.
You gotta pay money when you can do them all day.
Oh. So it's really hard for me to envision like how this can be optimized, I guess, in the sense of the way people try and optimize their general rating experience.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do 4 a day, I guess, max with the 250 thingos, but...
I do my best!
Yeah.
Today I was, like, surrounded by, like, 4 Phalanx all at once. I couldn't even see the wild spawns because the freaking rotating Phalanx is so big.
Kaz is already in that wild area.
I cannot do these! If this were, like, 4 Score Bunny, I would have done it, but no.
Yeah. We're gonna pair up those counters, I guess. On the wild area.
We got a little bit of time, so
I think
that event will be during Sacramento Regionals, which I'll be at. So hopefully, people won't be letting me doing them by myself, you know. But
Steve, you were saying that you thought Metagross was going to be good for that. Is that right?
For Phalanx?
No, for Toxtricity. I thought you said that.
I've never said any of the kind. I haven't thought about Dynamax Toxtricity once, I'll be honest.
Well, I guess the logic of your remembering of Steve, you know, is right, because it's a poison electric type Pokemon, so the psychic moves on Metagross would be effective.
Yeah, it was me. It was me. It was definitely me. I'll take the credit. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Metagross is going to be good, so power up your Metagrosses.
Tristan's memory looks a little shoddy there, which is the perfect time for Kaz's Corner. I'm here to double my points. Let's go.
It's true.
Let's go.
It's true. It's a double point special feature.
I like it.
This week. So
we don't lose any points if we get it wrong.
No, I'm not.
What if we said it like this? You could double your points if you take the risk for it, and you lose the point if you get it wrong. But
you want to do.
But you don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it if you're not confident, right? It's like poker or something, or like you're
You're talking about like a Joker round in trivia, right? It's like you have the power to double your points, but you can only do it once at your
No, so he is going for the gambit play where he wins either way. Either he doubles his points and he goes to 4 points, or he loses a point so that next week he can double his points from 1 to 2.
Exactly.
That's all he wants.
It'll be you either get 2 points
Caleb,
or you lose a point. I like Kaz's side,
you know that I hate math and that I'm not going to go for something that makes me do more math.
You know, Caleb, if you want to subtract your own points, we'll let you.
Yeah, if you want to lose a point,
score
that's
is
fine.
2 me, 3 Steve, 4 Tristen. If I get this right, I'm tied for first. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm reading here. All right.
What I'm saying
so everyone can double their points.
It's not double, right? It's double, or is it +2? It's +2, right?
2.
+2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of winning,
sorry, I wrote double points because I'm
thinking
about me, but I double points of Tristen would be kind of crazy now that I think about it.
My ruling on my corner is that you can double your points if you answer correctly. You're not going to lose any points.
Wait, full on double or +2?
No,
you just
winning point.
Yeah, Kaz, I think you did just
winning
mistake.
Points.
Caleb can double his points.
Okay. No, I was confused when you said double. I still thought you meant like you can actually double your total points. Okay,
no, you can double.
So we get 2. We get 2.
Point.
Yeah,
yes,
we get 2.
You can win 2 this week if you get it right, but you won't lose a point if you don't answer correctly. You just won't.
I'm ready to Google what a pupiltar looks like.
Well, joke's on you because we're going to talk about birds again.
All right.
Galarian Articuno's feathers are actually made of what?
Oh, dude.
Oh, not the feathers thing.
No one's doubling their points.
Actually,
and you can look up a picture. You can look up a picture if you want. I don't think it'll help you much.
Out of?
Yes. What are they made of?
Made out of? What the heck? I don't even know where to go.
Not made of anything because Galarian Articuno doesn't exist.
That's been my experience for the past 3 days. So
they're like completely made out of it, or what?
Yes. That is what the Pokedex
just like cells, like
yeah, atoms.
It's not Zygarde cells. I'll tell you that.
This has got to be the most niche answer. Like, I feel like this is just going to be insanity that no one could possibly guess.
Is there like a hint? Something?
Steve says that and he's going to pull some like vague answer out of his ass and get it right.
Stuff.
Just contemplate what kind of bird Articuno is, what its powers are.
Okay, I have an answer. I don't love it, but
you know the drill. Everybody type in the Discord and tell me when you're ready.
You let me know. I'm ready. You ready?
I'm
Tristen?
ready.
Sure. Right, I don't think this is right, but we're gonna try it out.
All right, 3, 2, 1, send. Okay.
Oh, what, Tristen? That's
so
I mean, I know it's a different type for the different forms, but
yeah. Well, that's why I went with what I went with, but like that would make sense if it was like the non-Galarian form.
So
okay,
Tristen
go ahead,
says ice. Right. Steve says energy, and he crossed out atoms.
Why would you cross out atoms second? Why did you cross it out first? He like, let me write this. Wait, let me write second answer. No, I wouldn't cross out my second answer. Would you cross out your first guess?
And then
I guess I was writing in the left margin.
And then Caleb says psychic powers. And guess what, Caleb? You have doubled your point today.
First place.
What?
For the doubters.
Be made of
That's what I said.
Powers.
Oh, no, Tristen, don't question this, right? You like your train of thought makes even less sense. You said ice for the Galarian bird, right? Like I was actually thinking what you're thinking, but I just applied it correctly because it's the Galarian art. Because Cass was like, think about what kind of bird it is. It was like, it's a psychic bird, and I was like, why would she say Galarian bird if the regular Kanto Articuno has the same property? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's like the psychic part of it. I don't know. But why did you put ice?
Explain.
Because I
didn't know what else to put.
You have a psychic. It's not ice type. What?
The Pokedex literally says
Yeah.
that its feathers are made out of psychic energy, and they are razor sharp.
Energy.
And can be thrown.
You just used the word energy.
It's psychic powers, Steve. It's specifically psychic.
Hey, Kaz's ruling is final.
Kaz's ruling energy, though. I feel like
yours says ice. Come on now.
I'm not saying I'm right.
Let me tell you why, Steve. Let me tell you why. Because if we are gonna attribute like broad energy to like all Pokemon typings, then like why would Pokemon have different typings, right? Like elemental typings. So if you think of all of their powers as being related to energy, you gotta specify what type of energy is being used.
The haters.
I'm not gonna be happy about it.
They can't stop me. Yeah, you can be unhappy all you want. I'm tied for first now.
Steve, you're still tied for first.
I thought no, I'm points again.
I'm behind. I'm down one. They've got 4. I've got 3.
It's 4. Yeah,
I'm in last now.
He's in last. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
you won't be laughing for long after this one. Yeah.
Your next week is your chance to get back on top.
Yeah. Maybe we should keep this double trend going. You know, double or pass it on. Let's double and pass it on to next week for Caleb again.
We'll do it every so often. I'll surprise.
I have 24 points in November.
Double feature.
Dang.
Wait, Tristen, explain why you wrote ice, right? For the Galarian. I didn't know what else to put. But it was the Galarian Articuno, not the Cancer. I think if it was Cancer Articuno, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
But
I didn't have another answer, so I just put something down.
I'm with him with like it was a hard one to come up for. I will say like my logic to the word energy was correct, but like obviously it wasn't the psychic thing because like there was no other answer. Yeah. It was such a hard one to come up with.
I knew Galarian Articuno was psychic type, but like psychic isn't a physical thing. So I was like, how can psychic make up a physical thing? That doesn't make sense.
Because if you think about like how it attacks, it like throws its wings out, right, and it throws the psychic feathers off to attack, and then like regrows them with its own like mind powers.
I honestly probably wouldn't have guessed that if you didn't specify what kind of bird it is, and then also I thought about. Well,
you guys seem pretty blustered. Bird. You wanted a hint, so I thought that was the best I could do.
No, the hint.
Honestly,
Caleb, you got it.
It was helpful for one person, but that's good enough for me.
But now you can never double the toughest one again.
Now what?
Now you can't double your points again.
I promise
me. I'll take first place. I ain't worried about that.
I promise I won't do any more questions about feathers for the rest of this current season. How about that?
I don't mind. I don't mind too much.
Man, there was that Cresselia question too. That was pretty nuts.
I used a little critical.
Yeah, actually, that was actually. I think Cresselia is probably the most.
Cresselia was hard because I didn't even know it had feathers. Like I couldn't even see.
Yeah,
it's always the same feathers.
Right? Well, I promise. No more feathers until
do your
until
thing.
The end of the
It's
season.
your corner.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hop over to the championship series because we have a decent amount of tournaments to recap.
It's true. Yeah.
Let's just go in order here. I got timestamp these, so I make sure I get all the Dracoviz graphics correct. But I think the first tournament that happened was Dortmund.
Yep, that's right. Because we missed it last week because we were talking to Yakai. So.
Okay, I gotta retract what I said initially. I think Galarian Moltres is actually pretty legit. And honestly, even if it wasn't for the Dortmund regional where the grand finals had 2 Galarian Moltres, I just completely got destroyed by one in my local yesterday. To be fair, I had no fairy types, so like I had nothing that walled off the energy. But like that sucker punch damage is pretty disgusting. Like you could like sucker. I think you could sucker punch down a 2 shield for alligator, which is kind of nuts.
Well, yeah, and that's thanks to resisting the Shadow Claws.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But it is also Galarian Moltres. Like Frenzy Plant was almost taking that out, right? But
yeah.
But so I think like at Baltimore I wasn't as convinced, but after that,
which is interesting because I mean, there's only 2 Galarian Moltres like that made it into day 2, like in
very high performance rate.
Yeah, granted, it was on the 2 like highest finishing players teams.
Yeah,
but still, it's just like God, I wish I had one for Great League. I really do.
Yeah. But anyway, it was Tauntaun Batuse and Chasm 33 in the grand finals. And Chasm I've seen like on the top of GBL leaderboards a lot, and like made a decent amount of top cuts, especially last year, but never really made it to grand finals or like a top 3 or anything like that, right? But yeah, definitely knows his stuff, and pretty happy for him on that. And I think I saw a post from, who was it? I think it was Nessa Beethan posted on X, but he said something about like, this is Kaz. I know it's just like the way the camera's angled, but like the way your arm looks, like your right arm right now, it looks like it's photoshopped, just like that Niantic party shirt video. No, I know it's just like the cut of your like shirt, right? Yeah, but it literally looks like your arms like just like missing and stuff. Yeah, I was like,
well, I also had to move just now because I realized that the sun was starting to come in this window.
Yeah.
Glare out.
No, totally fair. Anyway, sorry for that interruption, but yeah, so. But yeah, really impressive stuff. But Nessa Beethan, I think, said this is like the first time someone from the UK has won someone that's like British or something has won a tournament.
Yeah, not counting Emmy Weedle, because
Emmy Weedle, because he's like he's Swiss, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He likes to run the Swiss UK flag.
Yeah. But he's like of like Swiss origins. That's kind of wild. Because there's I feel like there's a lot of really good like UK players, but
yeah, I was gonna say like
that's kind of wild.
Why do I feel like Tomahawk won one?
No, Tomahawk has that's the whole joke is that he has as many second place finishes as I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the whole joke is that he hasn't won one. Yeah. But
Mr. Second Place. UK
edition. Tomahawk has a bunch of second places. I know Nessa Beethan got second place at UIC like
22?
Last year.
Oh, 23.
The year that Tauntaun won, I think.
Yeah, okay, 23.
Yeah, at UIC, yep. And I think
he got second there, and then like Statistan is always getting like third, fourth.
Statistan is not from the UK though.
True, that's right.
He wouldn't count either.
He doesn't even count anyways. Yeah.
But he lived in the UK. I think he went to school there. But yeah, I mean, if you look at this graphic too, Emmy Weedle has a Swiss flag on his thing right there too. He had a rack in it as well. But yeah, pretty impressive stuff from both players. We're gonna just like go through these pretty quick because we have 3 back-to-back, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But yeah, Galarian Moltres is the real deal, and me personally, I'm still trying to freaking find one.
You say it's the real deal, but like it only turned up in that one tournament though. Both of the LATAM ones, I don't think.
But it might be like slightly different meta, but who knows? But yeah, so we had Joinville for the LATAM regional in Brazil, and dude, this guy is cracked, man. Ellen Diaz Hard Jeff. Okay, not just in 2024, 2023 as well. The first regional for 3 years straight in LATAM. This guy has won all 3. He like auto qualifies for Worlds on the first tournament every single year. Crazy stuff, right? And he's probably pretty well in that first like half season of 2022. But like literally like this guy's like just like cracked. And also he didn't run Clodsire nor Fralgator on his team.
Yeah,
neither.
I was just gonna say like, and his team, if you look at it, is like actually really unique for this current meta. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of.
Toxic Figures B is a really strong core that I think I mentioned like a couple episodes when I played my local. It was actually super annoying, and I think it makes a lot of sense why a lot of people are running it. But yeah, he had Cresselia, Dugong, Quagsire, and
Shadow Quag and Shadow Drapion. Yeah.
And the Quagsire honestly is like pretty smart because there's a decent amount of Quagsire actually. There's 3 in the top 8, but it's pretty smart because like the pacing's slower on Mudshot, but for Quagsire because the moves are so much cheaper than a lot of the other moves that Moboys have, like it still gets there pretty quick. Like it gets to Aqua at 5-4, 5-4.
Yeah,
it's not super fast, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think the access to Aquatail alone like gives it a little bit of a nudge in the current meta, like over.
I think the main thing that's there for is it's beating Clodsire, but it's also core breaking Diggersby Toxapex.
Yeah, is he? Did he run Stone Edge or Mud Bomb? Do y'all know?
Stone
I
Edge.
played in a local, and some were running Mud Bomb Aqua Tail, which also has some mirror, especially in Toxapex metas. But I think Stone Edge probably still is better and safer, especially you have a little bit of coverage in grass size, but especially the flyers. But there's not a ton of flyers, you know.
It's not bad into Toxapex though, especially like Mudshot's doing more damage now, and then
True,
Stunt is still
the
neutral.
damage,
Yeah.
Like
no, I don't think there's a huge reason to run Mud Bomb. Like if you're running Quagsire.
I did face one yesterday at my local, and he was bringing it into my for alligator, and he threw after 5 mud shots. I was like, huh? And I looked at team sheet, and thankfully I did. I was like, oh wait, this is a mud bomb. Like this is not even like a stone. Like this is not an aquatail bait.
Yeah.
Like because it was like right off the bat. I was so confused. Yeah. And he went 4-1 in the Swiss stage actually. He only lost to me, and he had it was Meepichu, but he had a Shao Ursa ring too, which is kind of wild. But
Wow.
yeah, I kind of got lucky on my leads and stuff. But yeah, he played real well. Anyway, yeah, so pretty cracked from Harjeff, and then he in second place was LNDS Kanan. Also very consistent player too, and also won a previous regional in Brazil last season. But yeah, Harjeff, I can't remember who he lost to, but he just fought through the losers bracket, beating Darkness Q, Marto, Galde, T. Steinar, and him and T. Steinar ran the same exact team, so a mirror team, kind of wild. And then he beat Copper Kid, and then he beat Kanan in a bracket reset. So no undefeated run from him so far, but still very, very impressive stuff. And honestly, I think Harjeff's one of the best players in the world, especially in more neutral metas. And I would say like the meta for the last like 9 months were not neutral at all. But he really excelled in that meta a year ago in the Metacham, like Gligar, Lickitung, Umbreon meta, whatever, Charge Bug. Actually, no, he was using Charge Bug. Most people actually didn't even use it. But like the one that he won LAIC in and Curitiba. But yeah, pretty cracked. Kind of nuts.
Yeah. Honestly,
happy for him too.
I feel like Harjeff should be way higher in the GOAT conversation than he often is. I feel like most of the time he's not brought up in the convo, but he is kind of consistently and insanely good and is always putting out these performances.
Yeah. I think he is. Well, at least I personally rank him really, really high. I mean, having also like scrimmed him, right?
Too.
I've scrimmed him a decent amount. Not a ton, but I've scrimmed him. And every time I scrim him, I'm like, dude, this guy's like on another level, you know. Like he brought a team triple week to Bastion. He still almost beat my Bastion team. I was like, huh? It was like a Skarmory, Charger Bug, and like a Lickitung or something. And I was like, what is happening right now? No, he's very, very good.
But I do think it's important to point out as well that like I think the story of Joinville very much outside of Harjeff just putting another crown on the thing is the just death of Clodsire and Feraligatr in their top 8, because this happened in the same weekend as Dortmund. And so you mentioned like, Harjeff won this tournament with no Clodsire and no Feraligatr. You know who else had no Clodsire and no Feraligatr? Like half of this top 8. Like there's more Diggersby than Clodsire.
Usage between the two tournaments was very interesting. Like Dortmund had 75% Claude in the top cut. Joinville had 37.5.
Yeah.
Then you have.
You made a really great post about it.
I'm at the point where like you can probably run either strat, like no Clodsire, no Feraligatr, and you could also run Clodsire Feraligatr, and I think both have a lot of success. Because I'm looking at some.
You can run Gator without Claude, I think too.
True. Yeah, definitely.
But it was just interesting because there was like way more Gator, way more Malamar, way more Clodsire in Dortmund, and then Joinville had way less usage of those. Actually, 0% Malamar. There was 0 Malamar in top cut in Joinville. But
the Gator's super interesting too because like it's so strong, but it takes so many shields. Whereas if you just drop it off your team, you have more, like, you could just shield up other things. Like, I feel like every time I bring Gator, I'm, like, double shielding it. Shielding it at least once, right? So, like, I think, like, that is the downside of Gator is that you always have to drop at least one shield if you bring it into a game.
But it usually gets the shields back a lot of the time. So, there's trade-offs, but...
Yeah.
But then Joinville, it was, like, 75% of top cut was using Diggersby versus only 17% in Dortmund.
Well, to be fair, their top cup was only 8 people as well, right? For Joinville,
Right.
so it's the data's a little bit smaller. It's half the size.
Yeah,
true. But still, it was just interesting. There's way more Diggersby, way more Cresselia, and way more Shadow Quag.
Dortmund, wait, what are you counting as top cut for Dortmund? Because Dortmund had a top 12 on day 2. They have a top 16 in the graphics. Are you counting the top 16?
No, I was using top 12. I was using the graphic they showed on stream.
What if you compare the top
8 to top 8?
You probably have to break it down. Like if it's top 8 to top 8, how much is the difference percentage wise? Is it still very stark, or is it even starker, or is it like
probably similar?
Well, yeah, on top 8, it's still 6 out of 8 have Clodsire in Dortmund, and 6 out of 8 at Joinville had Diggersby. So it's like the equivalent.
So similar. Okay, yeah. Because technically, the top 12 day 2 is like more like a production manufacturer top cut, right? Because technically top cut for the amount of participants they had in Dortmund is top 8, but obviously they have, they want to stream more battles, which is a good thing, but yeah.
But I would also point out, like, the next championship series that we had this past week in Lima also...
Dude, no Clodsire, no for Alligator again.
Yeah, exactly.
Marto Galde, killing it.
Almost the same team, like the same sort of 3 tanky as a base, right? The Toxapex, the Diggersby, and the Cresselia, but swapping out a few of the backends for more bulk with a Azumarill and Dunsparce, and then that little extra spice of Alolan Sandslash.
I want to use that for more bulk thing as a soundboard. Hit it once in a while.
For even more.
Well, and the Alolan Sandslash isn't even shadow, so it's not even like that squishy.
Alolan Sandslash is not.
So it's a little bit,
I think it's a smart play because there's not a lot of fighters in this meta either.
Or fire, really.
Because we discussed, counter nerfed before its time.
My local actually ran Marto's team at our local yesterday. And that Alolan Sandslash is annoying because I have one thing that beats it. But I'll still able to 2-0 him. He's like, he's like, man, he's like, I wonder if I could have done better. I was like, where did your team come from? He's like, oh, I stole Marto's team. I was like, it's a driver, not car issue, huh? I was like, I think the car's pretty good. And this is before we found out he even won. This was before we found out he won the whole thing.
Yeah, but, it's also worth pointing out, I mean, we started out by talking about Dortmund, and you were talking about reconsidering your thoughts on the Galarian Moltres. Well, there's still no Galarian Moltres in Lima either.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more of the Malamar. We've got a lot of Talonflame and a few of the Mandibuzz, kind of the bulkier option with the same typing.
Yeah, their teams are a little bit more anti-Moltres though, right? You have like Azumarill, Alolan Sandslash, and Dunsparce on the team, and you got Toxapex. Like, what is the Moltres for? Like, even Diggersby's not too bad with Quick Attack. My problem when I play my local is that I didn't have anything to cover Dark types. I didn't have Fairy or Fighter. So like that Moltres, dude, the Guzzlord was like, I got destroyed by Moltres and Guzzlord, and I was just like could not handle it. It was like super annoying. But yeah, big congrats to Marto too. I think no Feraligatr or Clodsire in the top 4. What in the world? That is insane.
I only see, like, looking at the graphic from Dracoviz, I see 3 Gators total. No, wait, 4?
Ellie, I see you better bring your core breakers for Toxapex Diggersby because this team is crack. I mean, Memi didn't run either of those two. Actually, Memi seems even... I mean, it's not like he didn't run meta stuff. He just didn't run, like, the top meta stuff. Like, it's still very impressive, like, that he made it to top 3.
I would say, I feel like Ozzy's top meta. But I feel like after that,
I mean, I'm thinking, like... Yeah, I'm thinking Diggersby, Toxapex core, or Feraligatr, Clodsire core. He didn't have any of those 4 Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Like, Azu, yeah, sure, it's solid, but, like, it's... I don't know. It's... Very interesting stuff. But yeah, congrats to Marto, congrats to Chasm, and congrats to LNDS Hardjeff. Guaranteed lock-ins for Worlds already. Well, Marto was actually already qualified based on his Worlds.
But he just got rid of an invite for Worlds.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no,
he just cut it down by one.
It is what it is. It is
less competition.
Yeah. But you gotta, if you want to. Yeah, a decent actually had a Shadow Ursaring, which is kind of wild.
In top 8.
I didn't really. Yeah, I didn't watch in the footage, so I don't know. But I did, like I said, I did face a Shadow Earthwing yesterday in my locals, and that Swift was kind of quick. I think you could beat a Drapion with it.
Is it Shadow Claw Swift Close Combat? Is that the moveset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lucky though. The one time my opponent brought it, it was on my Clodsire, so like it didn't have too much play. But like I said, he went 4-1 in Swiss. Like I made top cut. It was a 5-round thing, and I only went 3-2, and I was one. But like I struggled. Like it was like a lot of really good players, at my cup. But yeah, like Dapper Disc actually drove up with Mipichu from San Diego too. There were a ton of really good players there, but yeah, Mipichu played really. Mipichu literally signed up with the Spice team because we needed one more person for like 18 people. So he just signed up on a whim. Like he's the last person to register after like we waited for like 20, 30 minutes. And he just goes 4-1. He's like, oh, I'm just here to help other people get points. I don't want to win. And he just goes 4-1 and Swiss. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, yeah, he really helped my tiebreaker points, that's for sure. Yeah. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to make the top cut. Oh, we had a top 8 top cuts. I probably would have. But there was like there were a few 3-2s that didn't make it, and he definitely helped my tiebreaker points there. But yeah, anyway, impressive stuff. We'll see how the next few tournaments look, but this meta does look interesting for sure. But yeah,
I'm taking notes for Louisville.
Yeah. I'm excited to see if like Diggersby is going to be the source when it comes to Louisville, because like it's just been the 2 Latin American tournaments that like we haven't seen.
And the different regions do have notoriously different viewpoints on their metas. So I wouldn't be surprised if NA does not have that same amount of Diggersby. But that being said,
I think it'll perform well though. Diggersby is like pretty safe, pretty neutral overall. It gives you something that beats Clodsire and Dunsparce, which is pretty valuable. And like it doesn't, because fighters aren't that popular, it doesn't have a ton of like hard counters. Like, yeah, it's gonna lose to like Shadow Gator, but it still has some play there.
Yeah,
like it's gonna lose to Zoomerl, but it still has play there.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to Gator having Shadow Claw, that gives Diggersby a little bit of an edge in that matchup, in that you can do a little bit more damage before it takes you down. All good to know.
Yeah, all good to know. As you prep, I'm curious to hear what your team is going to be for Louisville. Do you have a team already for Louisville? You don't share it. I'm just curious if you do.
I'm working on some things.
Oh, okay. Post in our group chat when you have one. I'm just curious what you're gonna run.
How many birds is she using?
Dude,
all birds. Oops, all birds.
First person to run all 3 Galarian birds. Have you thought about that? But here comes the Articuno with the psychic energy feathers.
If I had a Galarian Moltres, if I had a Galarian Moltres in Great League, like it would be a contender for sure. But unfortunately, fate has seen otherwise. And that actually leads us into the tea topic, doesn't it?
You just gotta scam your locals the same way you scam them for those star pieces.
I'm not scamming anybody. They know.
Do the nighttime clasher.
Well, then have them know and give you one. They know how much.
Let's hop into the tea topic here, because we keep teasing it, but let's just actually go into it. So, I don't have like a specific article or post on it, but just something I noticed a lot on X, is these Galarian Birds are not spawning at any high rates.
No.
Like, they're not boosted for this event.
No.
How long is this event going on for? A few more days?
Friday.
Until Friday?
Days, yeah.
This Friday?
I think Friday, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's actually a decent amount of time. So, until this Friday, but they're not boosted, and they're not boosted at all. And I don't think the shiny rates are boosted. And I think, based on my understanding, they're still going to be shiny and encounterable after the event's over.
Potentially. I don't know if we know for sure, but probably.
That hasn't been like announced in any way, but that's the assumption.
That would be very disappointing if it's not, because the rate of shiny Galarian Birds and just birds in general is very low. I personally haven't seen one, but I haven't done that roar time stuff.
I will
say this has been my experience so far, because you all know I was probably the most excited out of this group for potential shiny Galarian Birds. So I've been doing my incense every day for an extended amount of time. The first day of the event, I was only able to extend it by like, I want to say like 18 minutes is what I did. So it was about just over 30 minute long daily incense. And I saw 2 birds on day 1, both of which were over 2000 CP, not shiny, so they ran immediately. Day 2, I was able to extend mine for like an hour. No birds whatsoever at all. Day 3, same thing. Today, same thing. Like an hour for 3 days in a row, and I have seen not one bird.
And even if you do see a bird, the odds of it being shiny is pretty low. So you're just going to spend another Master Ball, or you're just going to have to wait for it to run. Like it's not a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone tweet that they did like a 13-hour stream and they got 1 bird at 11 hours in.
And it wasn't shiny.
I actually just watched Zoe's video that she did on day 1, and she extended hers, I want to say, for like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And she didn't see any birds either, like for that whole video that she put out.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing. Because I didn't expect the shiny rate to be high. Like, I didn't expect everybody to be out there getting shinies. I did expect there to be a slight increase in the encounter rate.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It was
a selling point for the event. On the main promo image, it was Zamazenta and the 3 Galarian Birds. And you might as well just Photoshop out the 3 Galarian Birds at this point, because it's any other week, right? Like it's not like
I mean
for bird spawns.
I didn't do as much as Kaz. It was like the first 2 days I just did 15 minutes, like on my way home from work, and then yesterday I think I did it for about an hour, and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
And not only have I not seen any Galarian Birds, like 90% of the other spawns I have been, as Caleb would say, hot garbage. I'm just getting all these like random like Sveels and like just nothing even good. And I thought part of it was they were gonna like refresh the incense pool.
They sure did. They brought Sveels into it and Shinx.
Well, those are like related to this event as well, because this event does have spawns, and your daily incense is influenced by the current event. That's the argument that Zoe made in her video as well, is that like she rarely does daily incense during events for that reason. And basically that's what she encouraged other people to do. She's like, if the birds are really going to be available at shiny afterwards, just wait, because that way you're not wasting all of your potentially interesting spawns on like this event garbage.
It's just frustrating because it's like, I'm not seeing any birds, but I'm also not really seeing much of anything better. Like yesterday when I was playing, I went to this park to walk around, and it ended up being a Totodile nest. So I caught more Totodiles than I caught spawns from my incense, because the Totodiles were more interesting than any of the incense spawns. So I'd look and it'd pop up. I'd be like, oh, it's not a bird. Okay, ignore it, and then just catch some more Totodiles from the nest. Like, kind of sad that like that's how it played out.
I think the general feeling from everybody is that we kind of did expect there to be just some sort of increase in the potential to see a bird on your incense. Because it was already super rare. And if you're going to advertise it as part of your event, why would you still limit it in this way when you're literally using it to encourage people?
There should be some sort of event bonus related. Like either increase the spawn rate of the Galarian Birds, or increase how long we can use our daily adventure incense, or do both. Like do something here, because like the way it is now, like it's just frustrating and not enjoyable. And beyond that, it's like, again, like you said, like what's the point of playing now if it's going to be the same experience playing a week from now? Like
I'm really curious now as to what they meant when they said like the way that daily incense work is going to change. Like they said that, but they gave no details, and I still can't tell like any difference.
Supposedly they're supposed to be changing the spawn pool. I think I saw a graphic of someone that, I don't remember who made the graphic, but I thought I saw a graphic that showed like, oh, these like 6 or 8 Pokemon are new to the Adventure Incense spawn pool or something. But like you said, I think a lot of those spawns are being overridden by just the event spawns. So it's probably harder for us to see that impact right now. But even still, like, yeah, can we maybe bump up that encounter rate a little bit for the birds?
Yeah, I don't even want there to be like an increased shiny chance or whatever. I get that it's supposed to be rare, but if you're gonna feature it as part of your event, just give me a little bit more of the feature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I think there's definitely different approaches to it, right? Like some people are like, oh, do they have to be that common, right? Like some people are like, oh, I should kind of like how rare it is, right? It adds more value to it, which I think is fair. I think that the difference here is that it was promoed, right? It was like a big part of this upcoming event. It's what people were really excited for, and it feels like kind of a letdown when you don't even get to see what's been promoted, right? After grinding for what, like 11 hours? That's crazy. I'll see people post this stuff on X, and I'll be like looking at people, and they'll be like, man, I did a ton of Adventure Incense, and I still didn't see a bird all day, right? And they won't say how many hours they had the Adventure Incense for, but you can see literally from their picture that there's like freaking like 10 pages worth of Pokemon that they call on the Adventure Incense, which is nuts. So they definitely were out there walking for multiple hours, right? And like, it is what it is. It's part of the game, right? But like, time is money as well, right? And that's a lot of money people spent in terms of time, right? Getting nothing, right? Yeah,
it's been rare for a long time. Like we've had access to these birds for a very long time. I'm just reaching a point where I want to know if there's ever going to be any kind of increased availability for them. When it first was announced,
this event would have been it, right?
When it was first announced, I kind of thought like, oh, eventually they'll probably come to raids, right? And now I'm thinking like, oh, that's probably not gonna happen.
I'm fine if they don't come to raids, but yeah, they need to bump up the like appearance rate in like some limited events, and like it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're getting a Galarian bird every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but like it should be if you play for like, I don't know, an hour or two, you should have at least be likely to see one.
Honestly, I'm willing to go so far as to say that with this event, if they wanted to feature these birds as part of it, then maybe everyone gets at least one spawn on their incense. You know, like it's, again, the shiny rate can be super, super low. Don't care. But I just think the access should be enough that if you're only gonna run your daily incense for even just the 15 minutes for just this event, you're guaranteed to see at least one bird, and maybe you won't catch it, but at least you have the potential.
Because the flare rate
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Yeah, you're barely going to catch any of them anyway. So like, if you just say it's a week event, you'll see 7 of them. That's not like breaking the bank as far as Niantic's concerned.
Yeah,
like, it feels very good.
It's not like no one has 7 Master Balls even. Like what's the most we have? Is it 3 or 4 Master Balls?
Well, I mean, if you haven't used any,
it's like
I have 3.
Then you have 3.
Okay.
Is 3 including? Did you do the paid research that came out for this event?
No, that would give you 4.
Yes.
Okay, 4. I don't have that one yet.
So I have 2 right now. So I need to, and I haven't used the Master Ball. So I need to figure out if
I've used 2 Master Balls, and I have 1 in my inventory now without the paid ticket.
Right, so 4 is the max.
Yeah.
I have 3. Yeah, I haven't used a single one yet, so I haven't done the paid ticket. So
I'm not using my current one until I do find that below 1500 CP Moltres.
Yep. I believe in you, Kaz.
Well, if we see it on stream next weekend, then we know.
Then you'll know.
We know that more than likely scenario is that Kaz ripped off her local, and
the main reason
you
I
got some
won't know
extra
my
Moltres
team.
you could trade me just like this star piece, huh?
That's the main reason that I won't.
Don't
reveal
have
my
no
team
Stardust
until
for
Friday.
it. Drop another star piece in this party share so you can trade it to me.
But I mean,
but that's what Nighttime Clasher did. He grinded for like 6+ hours or something. He walked like I don't know how many miles that week, and he couldn't get one, and so he just traded with a local and got a 14.99 Galarian Moltres. He's like, yeah, this is way more efficient than spending hours walking around like I did.
Well, and the other frustrating thing with it too is like because it's relevant in PvP, it's like not only is it so hard to get one, but half the people that are running them have these like terrible IVs, so it's not even like gonna be up to its full potential.
Yeah,
and then it's like, yeah, sure, like maybe 30% of the PvP player base has a Galarian Moltres, but like if you're in that like 1% that actually has a good one, like that is also giving you a significant advantage. So it sucks because it's like there's a lot of us that don't even have one, and then even the people that do have one, most of them are probably not the happiest with the IV spread because they might have some wonky like 14-3-2 Galarian Moltres, and they're like, well, I guess I'm going to use this because it's all I have. But like, even though like yeah, they've been around for a few years, but like they're still not very accessible, and it's just kind of frustrating in general.
I really thought this event was gonna be it, but apparently they have seen otherwise in their market research, so we must wait even longer.
Is what it is. All right,
let's get to the YouTube. They just want us to waste all our Stardust and Dialga candies.
We keep running.
I still foresee myself wasting some this week.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to people.
I'm nothing if not persistent.
Kaz is gonna get to Louisville on Friday, and she's gonna do like a 5-hour grind to get that Moltres so she can run it the next day.
It's not worth it. You need some time
to
practice with it. Yeah.
Hey, Tom didn't practice with it. He got second.
Yeah. You didn't practice with it?
No, he said he literally like built the team like the day before or something, and literally hadn't used it until the tournament.
He's never used the Galarian Moltres in Great League. He just didn't use it in practice scrims. That's an important distinction. If he's literally never used it, that's actually like really impressive.
I think Galarian Moltres is just that good.
Yeah, that's how good
or
it is.
Tauntaun is just that good.
Anyway, that's a very important distinction factor.
Both things can be true.
Both things can be true. Yeah. But all right, let's hop into YouTube comments because we're running a little short on time here. Going from 2 episodes ago, where our title of the episode was "Shiny Galarian Birds" because we're real excited for it.
Yeah,
things have changed a lot in 2 weeks. Let's just say that.
We're more dated.
Zay's one says, "What I realized with the initial animation glitch is that every Pokemon does their charge a move animation for Incinerate. I guess just because it's only 5 turns, still weird. And now that I think about it, 4 turns might also do this."
So it's the charge move animation for the fast move to do Incinerate. That actually checks out with the Typhlosion example.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, is that true? I thought the Typhlosion Incinerate looks just like a slower Shadow Claw animation, but maybe Typhlosion's charge attack animation and fast attack animation are so similar.
Yeah, I think that might be it. But it makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense.
That does. Why that's the case, I don't know. 4-turn moves is interesting. I don't think 4-turn moves... Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking about Charge Work during Volt Switch. But like a lot of these Pokemon, their charge attack animation is not very distinct. It just looks like a different version of the fasting animation. So like...
Yeah. There are only a few Pokemon that have like a noticeably different.
I mean, that makes sense, right? It's probably simpler to like animate and code it that way because there's so many Pokemon and so many attacks that like
So what you're saying is they just got lazy on the 5-turn and 4-turn animation sequence, right?
Well, they are very long.
Oh no, that's not. I'm just asking. I think. Well, honestly, let me. Yeah, never mind.
I'm testing out with Hypno because Hypno it's got another fast. It's got Zen Headbutt. Okay, so I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Do some on the spot research. I'd like it, Steve. Yeah. Bortsif says I played in the first ever Show 6 Pick 3 competition this past weekend, which I managed to win, gaining me a whopping 9 championship points. Oh, really nice.
Wait,
how do you only get 9? Shouldn't you get
first? Should get you 15.
Isn't 8 the next thing? Like
either way. Well, if Bortsif won it, then that should be 15 or 50 either way, right? Like, there's no like...
Yeah.
I'll continue. My wife and I would love to attend Worlds next year in Anaheim as spectators, but unless I'm mistaken, Mistaken. Purchasing spectator passes is subject to a lottery. I plan to compete in Toronto Regional in December, but cannot see myself traveling to compete at any others beyond that. Can you briefly summarize the world's qualification requirements and offer any advice? It's pretty much mandatory to attend more regionals in order to get that competitor pass to worlds. Great question. Actually, this is a video I've been working on for my YouTube channel as well, but I'll do a general summary. So if you win at a regional or you get top 4 at an international in any of the TPCI regions, so that includes North America, just anything outside like APAC, you all qualify for Worlds. If you're top 4 from Worlds last year, you auto qualify, right? So we had 4 from last year's Worlds all qualified as well. And then outside of that, if you're not in any of those specific categories, then you have to place top 75 for North America to qualify in terms of championship points. So that's where it gets a little trickier because you really won't know for sure if you qualified or not until after the final tournament, which is in New Orleans, North America International Championships. And internationals obviously grant you more points than regionals if you play similarly, right? Not significantly more, but a decent amount more. So that is pretty important. And unfortunately, Board Stiff, if you could only attend like one regional, you'll have to do really good at that regional or win it to have a shot, right? Winning it for sure, right? Doing really well doesn't even guarantee. Like even if you get second place at regional, it's still going to be pretty hard given that you can only max out on 4 cups and 4 challenges, right? Cups are just another local tournament, but they can only host it every quarter instead of every month. So they're less frequent, but they award you 50 points for first place and, more points for the second, third, whatever, all those placements compared to a challenge. So what you played in, it was probably a challenge. But if you won the whole thing, then you should have got 15 points. So you can always double check that on the Play Pokemon website when you log in and check up your own account history, and it'll show all the
9 points just sounds weird to me because I know it's like first is 15, I think second is 12, and third, fourth is 10. So 9.
There's no odd numbers.
I don't think
except
so.
for first, yeah.
Yeah.
But just double check that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing to note too is any of those people that Caleb mentioned that get those auto invites, those don't count towards the top 75 in the region. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, for NA, yeah.
But yeah, my guess is most people that qualify for Worlds will probably have gone to at least 3 to 4 regionals / ICs.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. I was gonna guess like around 3 regionals and maybe 1 IC on.
You could probably get by. It really depends on how well you do at these regionals and IC.
Right, of course.
If you don't go to a lot, like if you go, you could. In my opinion, I think you could still qualify for Worlds fairly easily if you cap out on your locals, right? So you get like 4 first place finishes of cups and challenges, and you do well at 2 regionals. You don't have to win them, but do real well. If you do well at 1 regional, that'll be a little bit harder. If you do well at 1 international, and just have your locals, that might be possible too. It just depends, right? NA definitely has I wouldn't say easiest routes, but there's a lot more slots for our players to go than any other region. So
there's
we have 75.
There's a higher chance of being in those bottom spots. But I feel like those bottom slots, is probably maybe 2 if you do really well, but really well is like probably like at least top 8, if not like top 4 in both of them.
Yeah.
But like I think more realistically, like 3 events where you do decently well but not amazing, like 3 to 4 events, and whether that be 3 regionals or like 2 regionals and an IC or something, I think is potentially doable as well. But and then I guess to answer their other question about the spectator passes, normally there is some sort of a lottery for the general public, but then also all the competitors traditionally get 2 spectator passes, and a lot of competitors don't always use all their spectator passes. So even if you don't get picked in the lottery, you can potentially find someone who's competing who might be willing to give or sell you their pass.
Yeah.
Most people I do see like sell them online.
Yeah. But definitely see if you know any friends or people in your area that might go to qualify for Worlds and go. Because like me personally, like when I've qualified for Worlds, I've never like sold them. I just gave it away to people I know or that need the spectator pass. And there might be people that are willing to do that as well. So just a key point to know. Also, one thing to note as well is that next year Worlds is at for next year's Worlds, not only did they cut down the total, like before it was championship points for Go and TCG and VGC, right? Last year for Go, but also for VGC and TCG for years before that. they limited the amount of spots for for TCG and VGC as well. Just like Go has like a cutoff this year for 75. It used to be like you hit a certain number and you qualify, but now it's like you have to be a top placement of a certain amount of championship points. What that means is that for sure, right, across the board, maybe not so much for Go to a degree, but for sure for VGC and TCG, there's less competitors. What that means is that there's less guaranteed spectators because every competitor had 2 spectator tickets. So what that also means is that how are they going to fill up the convention center, right? Because there's less competitors, so that's going to take up less space, but also there's less guaranteed spectators because of that. So my guess is that they might have more ways of giving out spectator passes, or the spectator lottery is you have a higher odds of getting a spectator pass through that because there's now more, like there's more spectator passes to go around because they're not guaranteed to, they don't have to guarantee give them to every competitor. So that being said, the spectator, it probably will be subject to lottery just like past years, but that lottery, this is just my own personal speculation. It's not any official news source, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, we don't have any official information. We're basically going off of past years and also the changes we do know are happening for this year, but there's been no official announcement on how spectator passes are going to work yet. So this is all just conjecture.
Yeah. Artemis Dragons, so that's pretty much summed up there. We'll continue the next comment. Artemis Dragon says, I gotta tell y'all how much I appreciate this sort of off-topic discussion about the attack animation PvP. I know that the visual aspect of PvP isn't something that most ever look into, but there are some really cool gems that go unnoticed. My favorite is probably Crobat using Shadow Ball. It actually covers itself with the Shadow Ball cradled in its wings before releasing it. It's so sick. Whoa, that is actually a good point.
That's true. I think it looks really cool as well.
Shout out to the Niantic staff that are animating and doing this stuff. Because I know like some of the artists probably do spend a little bit extra detail into some of these that we just like take for granted or don't really think too much on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Artemis Dragon better is the real thing. Then we'll notice.
Yeah. Artemis Dragon says, then there are some really bad takes. Like, did you ever notice that when the camera's really zoomed in, you can't see the animation of some charge attacks in PP? For example, all this time, I thought Sunsteel Strike had no animation because it would happen so fast that all you see is the damage. But then I used Dust Mane in the Zacian raid, and I can't believe how cool the animation was. It was there the whole time because raids don't readjust the camera angles. Niantic really needs to work with someone like Pogo Doms, is all I'm saying. For sure. Yeah, very astute points there.
And speaking on it, I have done my little research.
We have intel.
So 5-turn moves, they do use the charge move animation. So Typhlosion, when it uses a charge move, the little flame on its back flares up. When it uses Incinerate, it flares up. When it uses like Ember, doesn't flare up. So that's like tick confirmed. Then I went and checked a 4-turn move. So I was like, let's see if that's the case. Short answer is no, not the case. Hypno, it did a little hand wave when it used Confusion. It used a little hand wave when it did Zen Headbutt. And when it used a charge move, it sort of dangles its pendulum a little bit. So 4 move, no. 5 move, yes. But yeah, it's the charge move. So shout out.
Okay.
New knowledge.
Good research. Good stuff.
Yeah,
the funny thing is I feel like we've talked about this in a previous episode a long time ago with different co-hosts, and here I am on deja vu realizing the same thing that I knew like over a year ago. That's fine. It's fine.
Time is a flat circle.
Eight the Greats from our last episode. There weren't as many comments because it's only posted 4 days ago, but our World Champion episode with Yukai says, damn, bruh had technical issues IRL too. Yeah.
Hey, this episode's been good.
No technical issues this time. You don't know this, Tristen, because I didn't tell you this. I told Kaz and Steve this last week, but editing that last episode where you're disconnecting was such a pain to the point where I was like, we can't do this. I'm never doing this again. So if it happens again, we'll have you on production or something. We'll have you.
And lo and behold, he seems to have solved it for this one.
Yeah. Thankfully for everyone's case. But because because whenever your thing like crashed, whatever, it would cut off more. It didn't stop when it happened. It didn't save the recording from when it cut off. It cut off like couple seconds before. So there's actually parts of our conversation I just completely cut out because like you would say stuff and it wouldn't be saved, and we're just sitting there all like listening and nodding, and we're like, this makes no sense, right, to the viewers. So I cut that out and I tried to publish it like 3 times, and every time it'd be like 87%, it would crash. I'm like, what is going on? It would say like Tristen like dot MP4 or something corrupted file. I was like, what? Well, I don't know which Tristen file this is because there's 7 different Tristen files, and so I'm looking and I don't see any corrupt parts of your footage. So I literally go to every single clip that gets cut off, and I'm like trimming it down even further, and then eventually I trim it to a point where like I was able to publish it.
Oh
But
my god!
yeah, that episode was probably like 15 minutes shorter than it really was in reality because of what I cut out. But all that's to say is I'm not doing that again. Anyway, glad that it all worked out this time around. Congrats to our early regional winners here. I mean, I guess I say early, but like we're approaching like the halfway mark of fall seasons. Like it's soon we're gonna be halfway through the year. It's gonna be kind of crazy. But
stop talking about time.
Yeah. I'll see you in Anaheim next week. But anyway,
Anaheim.
yeah, Anaheim for Worlds. But anyway, that's going to do it for us on this week's episode. Best of luck if you're doing
cutting out my
Birds.
segment again.
Hey man, you got to roll, right?
It's true. You're running out of time.
All right, Tristen. Let's hear your Professor
Cut
Tristen.
me out every week.
Let's hear your. Yeah, I need to move your segment down to if time permitting. All right, let's. What you got for us this week? Isn't the meta perfect? Isn't it balanced? What more do we need? What more do we need?
I got.
You better not say for alligator nerf. That's all I'm saying. All right, go ahead.
No nerfs. No nerfs.
Okay.
I don't think we need any nerfs, if I'm being honest with you.
I agree with that take. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the meta right now is in a good spot, and it's hard to say, like, definitively that I don't think anything's so overpowered it needs a nerf. Like, things are still kind of moving around. I mean, we've seen some of these LATAM tournaments where, the thing people would probably clamor the most to nerf would be like Clodsire, but like look at the last 2 LATAM tournaments. Like there's hardly any Clodsire in the top cut, in the top 2, top 3. Like I think everything's fairly balanced right now. But the thing that for this week is going to be Grumpig. I think it would be cool to give it Psywave. To make it an additional poison counter to help beat Clodsire and Toxapex. And then I would love to give it Dynamic Punch to give it some coverage for Dunsparce and Diggersby. It's also fighting is a good coverage type to go on a Psychic Mon because it covers against Darks as well. And then it could run like Shadow Ball Dynamic Punch is like pretty solid coverage as well. And so it would help to core break that Diggersby Toxapex core while also beating Clodsire and Dunsparce. It could help break up some of those top mons, give them some additional threats, and it's just a decently strong neutral Pokemon overall.
What's the fastest attack on it?
Psywave.
He's suggesting Psywave.
Oh, you're suggesting Psywave. Yeah. Okay, you're turning this into like a better Armor Mewtwo for Great League, essentially.
Well, it's kind of like a better Malamar in a way, right?
It's a different Malamar.
Yeah,
it's pure psychic typing.
Yeah,
pure
psychic.
So it's gonna be worse into like Darks and Ghosts.
Yeah,
but it'll be better into like a Zoom roll than Malamar is. And it'll be a little more consistent into like Dunsparce and Diggersby because it doesn't have to debuff itself with the superpower. It just has Dynamic Punch.
What does it win in Great League in this meta if you were to give a Psywave? Like, what's the wins and losses?
I don't remember. It's been a bit since I checked it, but it's gonna be.
I'll check it real quick for you.
Yeah, do Psywave and Dynamic Punch.
Oh yeah, right. Because it doesn't have. Well, let me see what Grumpig is at right now, because.
It can't be high.
It's bad.
Not good is the answer. I mean,
right, but
just thinking
of the comparisons though, right? Like Malamar is gonna be better into like Feraligatr because it's not weak to the Shadow Claw.
It's 930 right now.
Yeah.
So.
There's only like 1,000 Pokemon. I get there's shadows on here as well, but still.
Yeah, the shadow's even worse than 930. It's like 955, I think. Sorry, my browser's been like super slow lately. Maybe I need to stop using Chrome as well. Man, this.
Hey, Grumpig already beats Clodsire Toxapex. It already does the job.
It wins 3, and it loses to 37 in the meta. So I assume the 3 it beats is Clodsire, Toxapex, and Machamp, and that's it.
Yeah,
but that's in the meta, right? So let's just assess meta Pokemon because I don't want to like do too much here. Like let's not make it too unreasonable. Like I'm sure it beats like random stuff like Weedle and stuff, but okay. So let's set it with you said Psywave. Whoops. All right, and then Dynamic Punch says Psychic. Yeah, Psywave damage is really nice.
Dynamic Punch and Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
Because then you have that nice fighting ghost coverage that's really strong. And it's like you're Psychic type, but you have Shadow Ball to cover against ghosts, and you have Dynamic Punch to cover against darks.
All right, and the ones you win 3, you lose 37 with the original moveset. With the original moveset, right? With the new moveset, you win 19, you lose 21. That's actually a really big difference.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. You pick up a bunch of things like Charger Bug. Picking up Charger Bug is kind of wild because it has Exorcist. You pick up Ariados too. I mean, Sidewave damage probably just pretty overwhelming. I don't know. That's kind of wild too. It's just how do you pick up these bug types that have these bug moves, especially Lunge, right? Because
it's pretty bulky too.
Is it? Okay. We pick up Licky, Shadow Marowak. Yo, Shadow Marowak. I don't know why people are so hype on Shadow Marowak. I don't even think it's that good. It definitely isn't good in Show 6. But like people are real hyped about it. Like I know it's ranked really high in P-Poke, but like I don't know. It definitely does quite a bit damage.
It's just it's just the mud slap hype, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. But like I don't know. It seems less reliable than Gastrodon, but beats Chestnut.
Even Gastrodon has been falling off too, at least in Show 6.
Yeah, I don't think it really picked up though. To be fair, like I don't think it was ever like that highly used. Yeah, it picks up a bunch of different things. It beats Azumarill. That's kind of nice.
I think in Baltimore it was decently high, but now Quagsire's kind of replaced it. But
in Latin at least, but
yeah. The Azumarill one is like a big difference between it and Malamar. But like,
it's very serviceable actually into the meta. Beats Dunsparce, Quagsire, Clodsire, Azumarill, Dugong, Alolan Sandslash, the Shadow variant in particular, but probably non-Shadow as well. Clefable, Wigglytuff. Like it beats a lot of really meta stuff in this meta. It loses Sludge Bomb Clodsire, which is interesting. Loses Crescent, Gastrodon, Toxapex. It loses a Toxapex without the Psychic actually, which is so you do give up some coverage.
In what shielding scenario?
Once. You lose the Diggersby as well, actually. You beat Toxapex in the 0s and 2s, so honestly it's probably still worth, but Toxapex is just too slow, right? Okay, interesting one. I think that could be a good one. But
and then other thing, it's lower priority, but it can also get Power Gem on top of that if you wanted to have some coverage for like Mandibuzz and Galarian Moltres.
Yeah, I think we need 3 charge attacks at this point because like it's just like it doesn't matter. You give all this coverage, like you're giving the false illusion that these Pokemon are Swiss Army knives when you can only use like 2 things on it. Like I made this reference in the past, but it's like a Swiss Army knife, but you can only use a screwdriver and the scissor on it. Like what do you like? It's not a Swiss Army knife. It's like a bop it at best. But anyway, okay, that's going to wrap it up for our episode. That's a pretty interesting one, though. Hopefully, people at Niantic are taking notes. We shall see. Anyway, we'll catch you all next week. Best of luck, Kaz, on the Louisville run, and we shall see how things go. There's still a ghost on Steve's side. How did you layer it behind?
Steve is being haunted again.
Yeah. Diggersby looks like he's in like a haunted house. He's like fighting for my life here. That's how my Diggersby feels whenever I see a Driplim in the Galar Cup. But anyway, thanks all for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next week. Have a good one. Peace out.